Hey, what's up everybody, 8-Bit Flashback here. Today I want to share with you my latest custom build, the Famicom Disk System Mini. The Nintendo Family Computer Disk System was released in Japan on February 21st, 1986. It was an add-on device that hooked up to the Family Computer home video game console and used floppy disks called disk cards to play games on. Through its production, it sold 4.4 million units, making it a huge part of Nintendo history. I recently visited Japan, and while I was there, I picked myself up a Family Computer Mini for only $35 pre-owned at a store called Book Off. And at this same store, I ran into this device, the retro design HDMI selector, which looks exactly like a miniature version of the Famicom Disk System, and it's even on the same scale and size as the Famicom Mini. And these were selling for about $40 new, which I thought was way too much, but luckily I picked up mine used for about 21 bucks. And all this actually is a 3-way HDMI selector, so I can hook up 3 HDMI devices and push the little yellow button there to switch between the HDMI devices. So it does have some functionality just like it is out of the box, and it fits right underneath the Famicom Mini and makes an awesome decorative piece. And here's a quick demonstration showing that HDMI selector working. If I push that yellow button, that'll go to the Nintendo Classic Edition. And if I push it once more, that'll go to the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So that's kind of cool, but I wanted to make this actually functional. So I decided to mod this and make that happen. So inside this, I installed a USB hub along with a storage device, and then made some USB connection ports on the back, one for power in and one for connection to the Famicom Mini. And on the front, I installed a red LED light in place of the infrared sensor that was for a remote that I will never use. To hook this up, it's very simple. On the left side there, that's what connects to my Famicom Mini. Then on the right side is going to be my power in, and that's going to be using a double-ended USB cable. Then for the HDMI output, I can go directly to the TV from the Famicom Mini, or I can go through the HDMI selector switch. And here is what my Famicom Mini menu looks like before I hook up my Famicom Disk System mod. It's just the original 30 games. So now I'm going to go ahead and shut it down and hook up my Famicom Disk System. And to make this work, I am using HackChi CE with the USB host mod. So I've added a bunch of Famicom Disk System games that are running from the USB storage that's inside my mini disk system. Now I could just add these games directly to the Famicom Mini using HackChi, but this gives it a much more realistic effect having the games run from the disk system. Plus now I can add as many games as I want by using the USB host mod, which gives me extra storage. And I can even play various other systems if I choose to by using RetroArch. And I can add more games easily just by plugging in a USB cable to the back of the disk system and then hooking it up to my PC with HackChi CE. And here's a game I've actually never played before. This is called Dirty Pair Project Eden. And I thought this might just be an inappropriate game by the name of the title, but it actually seems to be a really good game. It's got great sound effects, great music, great gameplay. I really dig this game. So here's a quick look at how I did the building process on this mod. It's actually pretty simple to do. So here's what the insides of it look like before I get started. So it's got an HDMI selector with that HDMI adapter, and I'm using a USB hub with a flash drive, and I went ahead and removed the casing on it so it's a little bit smaller. Then on the back I marked some holes for my USB ports and then cut those out with a Dremel. And after getting those cut out, I went ahead and filed and sanded everything to give it a better finish, then glued my connections in place and placed my USB hub inside there, which it barely fit. Then on that front panel I removed the infrared sensor and then soldered in a red LED light to give it a better effect. And now after doing all that, along with HackChi CE, I have a functional mini Famicom Disk System. For those of you out there that are familiar with the Famicom Disk System, you're probably aware that it also had a cartridge adapter that would have plugged into the cartridge slot. And that's something I might work on in the future because I do have a 3D printer, so I could print one of those up and give it an even more realistic effect by having that cartridge adapter on the top. Okay, it's time for me to get out of here. If you like this video, if you could, hit that like button and have yourself a great day, and I'll see you next time.